Sit down. All right, so we're gonna get started seated today. We're back at the studio, which is bittersweet because we're here, but we're here by ourselves, so that's kind of sad. But it's nice to be back here. It's Kaylee's second time out of the house in several weeks, so that was weird.
Several months. Driving feels weird.
So we're gonna film here every day. Just come get some quiet, get some space, take a class, and then we'll film it and put it online for everyone. So let's get started. Today we're gonna work with just being with our breath, being present, a little bit of working with anxiety perhaps. So come to a seated position. You can sit on your hips, cross-legged. You can sit on a block. You can sit on your knees. Whatever is comfortable. Just take a seat and start to arrive. Start to find your breath. Maybe even close your eyes if that's comfortable. And think about lengthening the spine, growing a little taller, making space between each vertebrae. And at the same time, bringing a little softness into your lower torso, letting your breath come down fully into the bottom of your lungs. And one way we can think about stress and anxiety is that it's an excess of energy trapped in the body. So we'll do a little breath practice to try and get rid of some of that excess, see how we feel. So first, just starting to lengthen your breath, really nice and gentle and slow. Breathing in nice and slow, but without muscular force. Oftentimes when we think about our breath, we start to pull our stomach muscles nice and tight and pull. We want them nice and soft and just allowing our breath to come down fully into our lower part of our lungs. And then nice, slow exhale. And then for a few breaths, we're going to breathe in fully, exhale fully, and then take a little gentle pause. And then just see if there's a little more to exhale, a little gentle push. And then breathe in fully, exhale fully, gentle pause, and then just give it a little push and see if there's a little more breath stuck in the lungs. And then let all thoughts of your breath go. And see if you can just rest right in the center of your mind and see how you're doing today. Maybe even asking yourself the question, how am I? And allow patience for the answers. Greet yourself without judgment. And then bring your chin all the way down towards your chest. Feel the back of your neck. Bring your head back to neutral. Bring your chin all the way up to the ceiling. Feel the front of your neck, really tuning in to where the tension is. Bring your head back to neutral. Right ear to right shoulder. Back to neutral, left ear to left shoulder. Back to neutral, turn your chin to your right shoulder. Back to neutral, chin over to the left shoulder. Back to neutral, and then let's start to take the movement a little bigger. So inhaling, arms up overhead, and exhaling down. Connecting breath with movement, inhaling up, and exhaling down. You can keep your eyes closed and just follow my voice for the next few movements, or if you like, you can float your eyes open. And then let's take this even bigger. Take your arms up, inhale, exhale, drop over to the right side. Inhale back to center, exhale, drop over to the left. Nice big rainbow shape movement. Inhaling center, exhaling over. And start to experiment with moving in this plane. Where do you feel tension? Where does it feel good? Where are you starting to feel a little opening? Connecting with your breath, moving slowly and fluidly with your breath. Bring it back to center. We're going to twist. So bring your arms out of play. Move from the rib cage up. Inhale, center. Exhale, twisting the upper body. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. And particularly notice when you twist, if you start to push down into a foot or a hip, trying to get a little more movement, and try to make this from the stomach. And if you are competing with yourself, kind of ask yourself why. Bring your arms down and take some nice soft, slow shoulder rolls. And then reverse the shoulder rolls. And then take your shoulders all the way up towards your ears and then pull them behind you, pulling the shoulder blades together. Hold here. And then draw your shoulder blades down and up. Nice small movement using the muscles in between the shoulder blades. And then let's come on over to a tabletop position. Moving and breathing in our tabletop position, beginning simple, inhaling forward to your table and exhaling, sending your hips back towards the heels. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Toes can be flat or tucked. And find a movement that feels good in your body today. So maybe you take some more circular movements, moving to one side and the other side, taking like a little U shape with the hips. And then you're just staying simple. Then you're starting to activate the arms and coming into a little push-up movement. Find where you're at. This is your practice. And we're going to build on to this practice. So coming forward, all the way forward, and then lift the knees up, hover. Sink the knees down and lower the hips back with the exhale. Inhaling, coming forward, lift the knees up and hover, chest active, arms active. And then lower the hips back. You can stay with this simple. If you're just, that's where you're at today, stay there. Otherwise, start to build up, generate a little more heat.
It's very squeaky.
And you can stay with this. It's so quiet in here. It's not what we're used to. Yeah, I can't hear the rock climbers. It's kind of sad. So
No banging.
stay with this. You can stay with just tabletop to child or coming forward and then sending the hips all the way back to down dog.
There's no power tool for it.
Inhaling forward to a high plank, lower the knees with the exhale back to child. Inhaling high plank, exhaling down dog. Inhaling, lowering down. Inhaling plank, exhaling, lowering down, sorry. And again, these are just suggestions. Feel what feels good. Maybe you want to stay simple. Maybe you want to make some heat. Maybe you found a little different movement than what we're doing. And then meet us in a child's and take a little pause. Surrendering down into the ground. Connecting with all of the parts of your body that are touching the ground. Connecting with your breath. And whenever we take these pauses and resets, if your mind has started to become distracted, perhaps adding in that little breath practice with just a little bit more exhale. Seeing if that can help bring you back to present moment focus. And then come all the way forward, slowly down to crocodile pose, stomach all the way down. One hand on top of the other, forehead down. I guess I should remind everybody to wash their hands before they practice yoga because we do touch ourselves a lot. I've been avoiding doing face yoga, but I think I'm going to put it back in because I'm just going to remind you to wash your hands before you touch your face. Wash your hands, wash your mat, and then we'll do some face yoga at the end. So take a little shimmy of the hips and see what you can release here. And then just while laying here, see if you can lift the right leg, get a little bit longer and lower it down. Lift the left leg and get a little bit longer and then lower it down. See if you can feel like you need a little more space for your spine. And then we're going to start to inhale up and exhale down in this pose. So the hands can come near the shoulders for balance. We're really thinking about lifting the shoulders. So inhale, lift the shoulders. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. A couple of things to think about. Sometimes people crunch their back. So if you're feeling like you're getting pinching in the lower back, you want to squeeze the glutes just a little bit less and squeeze the core. Bring the stomach towards the spine. And think about lifting longer rather than lower, longer rather than higher. So you're getting up and long in the spine rather than coming all the way up. And another thing that you can get is a little bit of crunching in the neck, a little bit of weight from tension in your neck. So rather than thinking about lifting your skull, think about lifting the shoulders. Engage more of the back muscles than the neck muscles. And always keep your hands down if you need to support yourself, to remind yourself to be gentle with your body. We're activating the back, not over stressing the back. And then bring it down to reset for just a breath. Shimmy the hips. And then we're going to bring the forearms down onto the ground and slowly slide up. So the upper body comes up, forearms down, shoulders are about, elbows are about underneath the shoulders. We're going to pull our chest up. And again, not pulling the skull backwards, but lifting the shoulders, lifting the chest, lengthening the spine and breathing here. See if you can activate the hands, so push the hands down and then feel like you're pulling them apart. See if that makes your shoulders activate. And breathing still. We're going to do 3 breaths for getting rid of stress and tension, especially in the throat. So we're going to inhale in and lion's breath out. Lion's breath is opening the mouth, sticking the tongue out, and using a giant ha sound. And if I can do this on video, you can do this at home. So you're going to take 3 ha breaths and then return to crocodile. So getting ready. Take a deep breath in. And then bring it on down to crocodile pose. Shimmy the hips. And notice any sensations that come up in this pose after that breath. And bringing the hands in under the shoulders, tuck the toes. Pull the stomach towards the spine, probably lifts the hips a little. Press into the hands. So really strong in the hands now, close to your body, maybe harder. If you bring them out a little wider, it'll be easier for you to lift. So press into the ground, pull your stomach tight towards your spine, and then lift all the way up, and then back to chop. Bringing the hands back to shoulder width apart. Tuck the toes and lift the hips up, down dog. So this time finding a steady down dog, nice and still. Finding your breath with your head below your heart and see if you can take some of the tension out of your neck. Maybe wiggle your head a little. Focus on your hands and see if you can get the weight out of the back of your hands towards your wrist and more into closer to the bases of the fingers. Pressing into the base of the fingers, and you should feel like you almost have a little suction cup in underneath the palm. So the whole palm is not flattened down, but a little lift. Using the muscles of your hands so that we're not just pushing into the bones of our wrists. Breathe. And then turn your feet. So your feet are going to turn over to the right. Heels go to the right. Feel a little stretch and opening of the left side body. And then turn your feet all the way over to the left. And then take a couple of left-right changes. Just feeling a little opening. That is so loud. It makes little squeaks. I just noticed that when I went to the bathroom, I brought back the dust from outside.
You're so dusty.
And find your down dog. We're going to inhale and lift the right leg long. Get long from the fingertips to the tips of the toes. And then take a big, slow circle with this right leg as if you're trying to feel every part of the circle. And then bring your right leg all the way over to the right. Should be hard to hold here. It's pretty heavy. Breathe and hold, and then little pulses with the right heel up to the ceiling. Bring it back to 3-legged dog. Bend the knee and step behind the right wrist. So then finding a little movement here. Inhaling forward, exhaling, sending that leg back towards straight. Finding some strength in the legs. And then settling into low lunge, you can place the left hand down and let the right leg open up. So you're strong on the left hand, let the right leg open up, knee coming over to the right side. And then start to find a little movement, just pressing more into the right side of the leg. Very slow and controlled. Bring the knee back towards center. Take the right arm and open up. Side up. Easy twist. So twisting from the rib cage. Breathe. Lay back down. Bending into the back leg. Get strong in the legs and set up long in the spine. Inhale as we rise all the way up, high lunge.
Tuck my shirt and down dog.
Holding a high lunge with concentration and breath. Not adjusting your clothes. We're gonna take some breath circles with our arms. Right arm, nice big circle. Left arm, nice big circle.
I added calming too. Whatever your classmates.
Take a little movement in the torso. Opening up the arms, moving. Just nice, slow, controlled breath. And then reach up tall with the arms. Exhale, draw the elbows down and back. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, draw the elbows down and back. And you can keep your legs still, or you can start to bring the legs into play. So reach up and inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bending down. Lay down and hold, breathe. Draw the elbows more behind you. And then bring the hands to prayer. We're going to bring the body forward, upper body forward. Weight into the right leg. See if you can start to pop up the back and lower. Forward and lower. Options for hands to stay as they are. A little more challenging, open up the arms, make the torso heavier. Even more challenging, bring the hands together, interlace the fingers, leave the index fingers out, and push the fingers forward. And then come on up to warrior three, even if it's just a teeny bit up with your back leg. Lifting the leg, strong in the leg, little bend in the right leg. Breathe and hold and balance. Take a deep bend in both legs. So little squat, little hover. And then inhale as you bring the left leg up all the way in front of you. Breathe and hold. Bring the left hand to the left thigh. Press the left thigh open. And then bring it back to center. Slowly cross just above the right knee. You catch this. You can bring it down just a little, sit it down, half chair. And all the way back. Bring the left leg down and tap the right foot up. Land your feet. Inhale, arms up overhead. Catch your breath and bring your prayer down to your heart. Connecting with our breath, let's take a couple of rounds. Inhaling up. Bringing it down to our hearts with the exhale. And this time, inhale up and swan dive it down with the exhale, touching the ground. Step the right foot back, left foot back, median child or high plank. Hold and breathe. Get a little longer in the spine. Squeeze the stomach a little more towards the spine. Maybe bend the knees a little so that you're not locking the knees. Breathe and hold. And if you're staying with me, lower the left knee behind the left wrist. And we're coming over to half side plank. So you can bring the right hip in line with the left and the right toes can stay down on the ground, or if you're feeling strong, lift the right leg up, hold. Slowly lower down through tabletop. Place the right leg down behind the right wrist. Line it up so that the left hip is in line with the right. Lifting, strong stomach, and then lift the left. Bring it down, tabletop, and down to child's pose. Catch your breath, and again, I invite you to try that inhale, exhale, gentle pause, and then really exhale. See if there's some energy to get rid of. Come back through tabletop. Tuck the tails, down dog. Inhale the left leg along, reaching long from the toes to the fingertips. And then take a giant, really slow circle with this leg. And then bring the leg left side, hip height, hold and hover. Feel the leg get heavier, and then little pulses of the heel up to the ceiling. Bring it back to three-legged dog, and step through low lunge. Start to find some movement in low lunge, inhaling forward and exhaling, sending the left leg towards straight. Find a low lunge, get a little longer in the spine. Plant the right hand and allow the left knee to open up to the left. Place more weight into the outside of the left foot and find a little gentle, small movement here. Feeling the hip, feeling the inner thigh. Gentle around the knee. Go slow and with control. And bring it back to regular low lunge. Keeping the right hand planted, lift the left, easy twist. Bring back down to low lunge, bend into the back leg and really set up the feet. Feel like you're pulling the feet towards each other so that the legs are strong and active. Deep inhale as we rise all the way up. And then a little movement, swinging the arms one at a time. Nice, slow, soft circles. Inhale up, Highland. Bring your hands down to prayer. Bring the weight in towards the left leg. We're going to start to come forward and pop up the back. And then land it back in low lunge. Inhale up. Exhale, open the arms, bring the elbows behind you. Inhale up and exhale, open.
I just realized I was staring at you.
Okay. Bring it down, open and hold. Pull the elbows more behind you. Active, strong arms. And then bring your hands to prayer. We're going to pop up again. Slow and controlled options to change your arms. And then pop up and hold your version of Warrior 3. Strong in the back leg. Now holding your breath when you balance. Bend into both knees deeply. Hold, little squat. And then deep inhale to bring the right knee all the way up to stand. Right hand to right thigh, open up to the side. Press into the thigh. Press the thigh into the hand. Back to center and then cross the right ankle just above the left knee. And maybe a little sit down to half chair. And then bring it up, tap it down. And reconnecting with our breath. Inhaling up. Exhale, draw it down to our heart. Inhale fresh. Exhale down. This time, inhale up, swan, write it down. Left leg back, right leg back, high plank. Meet me in child's pose or remain in high plank, little challenge. We're going to come forward in our high plank. So bending the elbows, sending the elbows down towards the ground, but not all the way down. Nice strong angle. Chest is very active. As long as you can hold this without buckling, you can start to come forward and back. Small, controlled, slow movements, building strength in our shoulders. And then lower the knees and find a child. I make fun of Kaylee always going to child first, but it's great because she's listening to her body and she's not pushing it past her limits. And finding your way to down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high, bend the knee, step behind the right leg, right hand, drop the left foot, and come on up to warrior two. I'm going to turn around. So warrior two, find your base, find strong legs. So active legs, feel like you're trying to pull them towards each other to really strengthen all of the leg. And also think about your feet. So feel like you're pulling up from your arches. You're not just sinking down into your joints. Pull up out of the ground. You can lift the hands, reverse the palms, whatever feels good. Breathe here. And just when you think that you should be coming out of this pose, you find a little more strength, a little more breath, a little more patience. Breathe and hold. Inhale up, bringing the right hand up, left hand down, reversing our warrior. Exhale, bringing the torso all the way over. Inhale, over, reverse warrior. Exhale, almost to a side angle. Nice and slow and controlled, and see if you can kind of lock the legs and stay strong in the legs and squeeze the stomach to move the torso. Bring it over to side angle, breathe and hold. See if you're sinking down into this right hip. See if you can pull up more. Open this right leg so that you have more space rather than locking into the joint. Breathe. And then back to warrior two. And see if this suddenly feels like a little break. Bring your hands to your hips, turn toes out, heels in. And we'll slowly bring it down. Little movement, finding your way down into goddess. And hands can come to prayer. They can stay on your hips. So locking down into goddess, find where you're nice and strong. Pull up with your arches. So locking, pressing down into your feet, but pulling up at the same time. Opposite sensations. Breathe. And then we're going to go back to that wave movement. So holding the legs, little challenge here. I just saw you. Just like, wait, we're going to be here a while, I'm going to move. And adjust your legs. So if you came way down, we're going to be here a while. So maybe you need to come up a little bit. Bringing your arms up, inhale up, exhale, wave over. Inhale up, exhale, wave over. Squeeze in the core. Bring back to center. Bring your hands to your hips. Straighten up the legs. And you don't have a dog to blame that one on. So life class, you never know what's gonna happen.
I tell you what.
All right, we're gonna lock the feet. So really think about
pulling your mat apart so the muscles are active and strong without doing anything. So we don't need to add a lot of weight to start to really use our muscles. We're gonna bring our torso forward as far as you feel like you're challenged. Don't go so far that it's hurting. Bring your arms out if you'd like a little more challenge. Breathe and hold. And then we're gonna take our hips a little bit over to the right and then a little bit over to the left. You should start to feel opening inside of the thighs. You can keep your arms out, taking this movement small, or you can start to bring the torso into the movement also. Squeezing the stomach towards the core, but towards the spine. Inhale, center. Exhale, little movement, slow and controlled. Bring back to center, lift the torso and turn the toes, left toes out. Into a warrior two. Stance with your feet, find your feet. Find your base nice and strong, pull up out of the ground and then lift the arms, breathe and hold. Tune into your breath. This time we're going to experience a pose with me being a little more quiet. And then inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, squeeze in the core, bringing it a little bit over. Inhale. Still a rainbow. That same kind of rainbow flow. A little bit different muscle group. And way back to warrior two. Breathe and hold. And then we're going to frame out the front foot. Press into the ground. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Lower the knees to a tabletop. We're going to come forward into little baby push-up. So taking your hands a little bit further forward, away from your shoulders, pull the stomach towards the spine, nice and tight and engaged. And we're going to bring the elbows down towards the ground and then up, nice and slow and controlled. And if you'd like to make this a little more challenging, you're going to lift and hover the knees. Small, controlled movement, stomach tightly engaged. Lower the knees if you lifted them and return to a child's pose. Breathe. Catch your breath. Catch your thoughts. Bring your forearms back down to the ground. We're going to press into the arms, press into the hands, and feel like you're pulling the hands away from each other so that their arms and the shoulders are already strong and engaged.
Follow me to a little bit more, lifting the knees, hover, hold, and then maybe slowly sending the legs towards straight, so you're coming into a forearm plank. Squeezing the stomach, pulling it tightly towards the spine. And if you've had enough, go on and meet me in Child's, where we're going to squeeze the stomach and we're going to think about the top of our hip bone. And we're going to bring the top of our right hip bone towards our rib cage, and then the top of our left hip bone towards our rib cage. Little hip ticks. So it's almost like a crunchy in the stomach. This is all in the lower core. Breathe. Try not to keep tension in your neck. Lower the knees. Child's pose. Reset. Slowly bring the upper body all the way up. Swing the legs out. Bring our feet out about hip width apart. Lift the chest. Pull the stomach towards the spine and lean on back. Not so that you hit your tailbone. Lifting strong in the core. Bring your hands back for balance. And then we're going to lift one toe at a time with slow and controlled. Or if you're feeling super strong, maybe 2 toes, nice and slow and controlled. So squeeze the core. We're not taking this into the lower back. And then bring the toes in to touch together and then out. Don't forget to breathe. And then bring the feet down and slowly lower all the way down to your back. Taking the feet long and the arms up overhead. Stretch from the fingertips to the toes. Make sure that your neck has its natural curve and you're not pushing your chin down on your, flattening your neck. So maybe bringing your chin a little more towards the ceiling. Bring a slight tiny bend into the knees and press the heels down into the ground. I like to bring robot arms, so fingertips point to the ground, and my back of my arms are pressing firmly into the ground. My rib cage is firm into the ground, and my hips are into the ground. My lower back has its natural curve. I'm going to lift and hover my right leg long. Left heel is still pressing into the ground, and pulse our right leg. So all of those points of contact, pressing our hips into the ground, pressing our rib cage into the ground, pressing our arms and our shoulders into the ground, pressing that left heel into the ground, and then lifting with a strong right leg, pulsing that right leg. You have to earn it. And then bring that right leg up and hold it about 45 degrees off the ground. Not all the way up in the air, about 45-degree angle. Hold and hover. And then we're going to bring the right heel out towards the right, nice and slow. So this is throwing in space. This is with muscle control. Nice and slow.
I was demonstrating.
Squeeze. Huh?
I was demonstrating.
This should be hard work. You should be squeezing your inner thigh. Your legs should feel heavy. Mine is starting to shake. If you're pressing down into that left heel, the hamstring on the left leg might be starting to feel a little tired. And then we'll drop that right leg and then let it roll around in space. Wiggle it around, wiggle the hips, let it go. Particularly pay attention to left and right sides. Notice differences. And then set up again. Check in again on your neck. Some nice space and softness in your neck. Maybe give it a little wiggle. Chin to the ceiling. Press the shoulders, the rib cage down into the ground. Press the hips down into the ground, but allow that space for your lower back. So squeezing the core really tight. Press the heels tight into the ground, and then lift and hover the left. And then little lifts and lowers, nice and slow. So not moving left to right in the hip. Really using the leg to lift and lower. Pressing the right heel down, the hips down, the rib cage down, and the arms down. Breathe. Notice if one side's easier than the other. And sometimes the one side's easier because it's the second side and we already know where we're going. So we're like, okay, I know how hard this is going to be. So lift and hover that left leg. Hold. Breathe. Now we're going to take left leg over to the left and back in towards the right. Nice and slow and with control. Watch those hips. Hips are not moving. They're pressing down into the ground. Stomach is engaged. We're not flopping around in space. Using our legs. And then lower that left leg down and wiggle everything around. Let go. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug. And then take the feet up to the ceiling. Point and flex the feet, wiggle the toes, take circles, whatever feels good. Just get the feet above the heart. Bring the knees back in, give yourself another little hug. And then set up like we were before. The heels are down, pressing into the ground. Little tiny bend in the knees. Hips are pressing down. Give the shoulders and the rib cage a bit of a wiggle so that you have the natural curves of your back. Soften your palms down, hands down, palms up on the ground. Allow your shoulders to really find the ground. Allow your head to be soft on the ground. Maybe take the head left and right a little. Making sure your neck is nice and soft. And then we're gonna flick our toes. So Kaylee's favorite reset, flicking the toes back and forth, allowing as much natural wiggle and movement in your body as possible. This means letting go. Let go of all the times that you had to hold your muscles tight, worried in fear, or worried about how they look, and just let go. Looking for as many wiggles and wobbles and vibrations as possible. And if the head is doing a little yes movement, that's good. Looking for freedom in the spine, freedom in the muscles. Letting go of control, finding your breath, be moving some used up stale energy out through your breath. And then as you're wiggling, take a long, slow, deep breath in. And with the exhale, just land suddenly. And really take note of where your body lands. So look in at your feet, feel your legs. Whenever we do a reset like this, where we're just moving, when we land suddenly, we can really tune in and find places where there's a little tension that we might not have noticed. For example, I can feel that my feet are not pointing in the same direction. My right leg seems to have a little bit more tension on the outer right calf. I notice that my hips don't feel even on the ground. And there's definitely a little tension right in at the base of my skull. So I'm going to take a wiggle, both my head left and right. See if I can let go of that tension. Start to see if there's something you feel needs a little wiggle. Listen to your body's intuition. Your body knows. You just stop paying attention to the centers and then find your way into your full relaxation, your full shavasana. Relaxing, releasing, maybe grabbing your blanket. Letting go of control, even of your breath. Settling in. I'm going to read. Know this, you are but one, and yet you are all. You are but this moment, and yet you are eternity. You are but love's fleeting expression, and yet you are everlasting love. You are but a single heartbeat, and yet you are the enduring rhythm of life. You are about a spark flashing in the night, and yet you are all light. You are, and yet you are so much more. Know this. Feel free to stay in Shavasana, pause the video, take a little more time. We're coming right on the end of an hour. So if you have work to get to, you're going to take your time to find some movement and move into a child's pose, into a fetal position, Curling up in a ball on whichever side is calling to you. And take a moment in this pose to ground down. Connect within to your internal bliss. Connect within to your essential nature. And take a moment to perhaps think of some things that you might like to leave on the mat. My suggestion is some of those negative words that we use towards ourselves, some of those harsh judgments, things that no longer serve you. Maybe giving them a visual and imagine them dropping and falling on the mat. And taking this moment to rise up fresh, rise up new, and coming to a seat. And bringing your hands to prayer at your heart space. And taking a moment to bow down and honor yourself, connecting your left and right sides in front of your heart, this gesture of accepting yourself as whole and complete, precisely as you are. May we know love, light, and connection. Thank you for joining us today.